إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن الكريم بعد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. Assalamu alaikum, brothers. Alhamdulillah, in the next few days, inshallah, we are expecting Ramadan to enter. Shahru Ramadan. Allahumma ballighna Ramadan. What are our thoughts? As Moinu said, this year is going to be slightly different. So what are our thoughts? How do we feel Ramadan entering now? As in now, we've got lots of things happening. Yeah? How do we feel about it? So I'm going to open the floor. What are you expecting from this Ramadan? How do you feel about this Ramadan? So inshallah, what are your thoughts? Anything that comes to your mind, inshallah, let's share some of those thoughts. What are we expecting from this month? Anyone?
Taqwa.
Okay, taqwa.
Taqwa.
Yes, inshallah, taqwa. Anything else? What are we expecting, personally? What are some of the thoughts that are going through our mind?
Increasing your ibadat.
Increasing your ibadat. We should do more ibadat. Anything else? Yeah. I tell you what, I'm going to be honest with you guys. These are not my thoughts. I have, slightly different thoughts this year. Okay? Now, for me now, Ramadan now, yeah? Every year, Ramadan comes, isn't it? We have Ramadan every year, and people seek things from Ramadan. Ramadan brings things to people, yeah? To communities, to individuals, to nations, and yeah, it's happened. For us, the reality for the last few months, I'm just thinking like, why now? Yeah, can we, thirst, hunger, all this, because during Ramadan, your regular routine changes. Like now again, we had lots of changes of routine. We have Ramadan now. Do we need the Ramadan now? Do we need one? Can we benefit from this Ramadan? Yeah. What will this month bring to us? Historically, Ramadan brought good news to people. It brought victory to the Ummah, isn't it? It brings people individually, it brings us closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the month of Ramadan, individuals, they change their habit. So, Ramadan brings good news. What's our reality now, brothers? What is our reality now? So before we accept Ramadan, before we think about Ramadan, entering Ramadan, let's just look at our reality. We are hungry. I'm telling you, if any time this ummah felt hunger, it is now. I'm not talking about you and I, I'm talking about we. Yeah? We are hungry. We are people that are thirsty. Right? Do you agree with me? If any time we thought about hunger and thirst, it was in the last few months. Nobody talked about hunger more than the way we talked about hunger in the last few months. Thirst, separation, loss, the need for someone to help. We felt hopeless. We need Allah. That's our reality. Right now, we need Allah. Right now, we need hope. Right now, we need some sort of support. does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will He help us? Will He bring us any hope? These are some of the answers that I'm looking for. This is what I want to know. I'm not sure about you guys, but that's what I want to know. In this month of Ramadan, this is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling hungry. I'm feeling thirsty. I'm feeling hopeless. I'm feeling I need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm feeling that I need Him. In my life, personally, individually, I'm feeling hopeless. Will I find answer in the month of Ramadan? And inshallah, I'm going to explore some of the verses to see if I can find some of the answers, inshallah. And I'm going to entertain those thoughts. And hopefully, I'm hoping that you guys can engage, with my thinking, and it may benefit you guys here. So this is, purely my tadabbur, my thinking and reflection on these verses. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He starts this ayah, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. In English, it means, oh, you have believed. Yeah, it's in the past tense, those who have believed. That's, what, we need to stop here and reflect. This verb, yeah, amanu yu'minu, is about iman. Every time, there are they said roughly about 86 ayah in the Quran that starts with this. What's the significance? What's the importance of this word? So we're going to go into this word and see, can I find some of these answers? Every time Allah addresses this, some of the Mufassirin, they agreed and they said that, what? It means Allah is about to address something to the believers, very specific kind of people, specific type of people. They have their own identity, own values, the ones who believed in Allah, wa Rasuluh, wa sadaqu bihima. And they were truthful to their iman. They're a specific group of people. We have identity. Allah identifies us from an-nas ajma'in, from the people. He identifies a specific group of people. So He's talking to a specific group of people. So He's giving us an identity. So instantly I'm feeling I'm not lost. I'm not lost. I belong in a group of people that are true to the iman. They believe in Allah and believe in the Prophet. And Mufassirin, they said every time a verse starts with this, it means Allah will give you a good news. And also, He will keep you away from harm. Yeah, i.e., He's going to give the ummah or the believers some sort of guidance to stay away from harm, or it will be a bushra, it will be a good news. So instantly for me, the verse starts with some hope. I know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's about to give me something special. He's going to somehow remove some of the hardship that I'm feeling or I've felt in the last few months. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. And whenever you hear that, listen attentively. Allah is about to send down something important for us. To a special people. Remember that other thing. They're a special group of people. We're not nobodies. We may feel that we're nobody these days, but in the ayah when Allah uses the verb, He makes us feel special. We are somebody in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yeah? And He addresses us specifically. Then, the next verse. It's very important, the next verse. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba. Kutiba means it's been written. Aye, furida. It means something has been made fard upon you. Something has been made obligation upon you. But this verb is very important, this specific word. Kutiba. Because Allah could have used many different words to say, I've made these things fard for you. Yeah, for example, if it's about fasting, Allah could have said, Sumu, fast. Yeah? And the amr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is obligation. He could have done that. Yeah? He could have said, use the word fard, but He used the verb kutiba. It's very important. to understand why did Allah use the word kutiba. You know, they said this word, you'll find that in the Quran, you'll find kutiba alaykum al-siyam, kutiba alaykum al-qital, kutiba alaykum al-qatl, kutiba alaykum al-qisas. It's about hard-hitting fard. Yeah? Hard fard. At the same time, great reward with it. Yes? So it is, Allah is about to make something fard for us, or He made something fard for us. That is so important. It's one of the core aspects of our deen. And yet it has enormous amount of reward. Yes? And at the end of this, there's a great victory that belongs to us. Right? It's one of the hard tasks. Often they associate that with hardship. It's going to be something really hard. Al-qatl, al-qital, hardship, yes? Then Allah also uses the word kataba alayhi ala nafsihi ar-rahmah. Very important. Allah uses the same verb to say Allah has written upon Himself. He almost made it and compulsory upon Himself ar-rahmah, to be merciful. So Allah's mercy is greater than His ghadab, anger. Alhamdulillah. So you can see it's a very important word Allah uses to describe what He made obligation upon the ummah. And what did He make obligation on us? As-siyam. If we think about siyam meaning fasting, yeah, we fast. Some of us may be thinking abstaining from food. You know, when we think about fasting, iftar time, what are we going to make for iftar, or tarawih, or what are we going to eat for suhoor, you know, all of these things. It's got nothing to do with that. I'm telling you, brothers, do we care about hunger? After witnessing what we've witnessed in the last few months, do we care about hunger? Is that an issue to us anymore? Is hunger an issue to us as an ummah? Is thirst an issue to us? Okay? Is food an issue to us? That we're going to be abstaining from food for 8 hours. Is that an issue to us now? No, it's not a big deal. After what we've witnessed and what we've been through as an ummah, this isn't an issue for us. So what is siyam? This is very important. As-sawm. Kutiba alaykum as-siyam. This is very important to understand what is siyam. And remember what I'm looking for. I'm looking for hope. I'm looking for victory. I'm looking for the answers to the things I've experienced in the last few months, isn't it? So what's in this word, siyam, that's going to give me some hope. Allah's going to answer some of my questions. And He does, because we need to explore this word, siyam. Siyam means, linguistically, imsak, to withhold, to abstain from something. Yeah? As-sam, to be silent. Yeah? To refrain yourself from certain things. Technically, yeah? That's it. So, you abstain from food. Is that the meaning of siyam? No, in Islam we have a greater meaning than just staying away from food. Yeah? And to understand this, we have to go back to the history, yeah, of experiences of people. Right? If you look at fasting is not only for us. Fasting has existed for people before us. But what did fasting bring to those people? Why did they fast, and what did fasting bring to them? There's an example, a story that I'm going to tell you guys, where, for me, fasting was about hope. It was a result, it was a good news for a man who wanted something desperately from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So for me, when fasting in the month of Ramadan is entering now, I'm seeing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is bringing good news to this ummah. And the story of Zakaria alayhi salam. It's his story. Remember Zakaria alayhi salam? He was old, right? He was an old man, extremely desperate. And what he was asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is for a helper, for a son. He was asking Allah for a son. He was really desperate. He was saying, oh Allah, look, I'm old. And my wife is also old and I'm extremely desperate. I need someone. I need help. I want you to give me a son who will continue with the work of the deen. And it was an impossible task. He himself admitted that. It's an impossible task, but he's desperate. Today, we look at the world around us. We see some impossible task. But it is possible in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, in Zakaria alayhi salam, he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a son as a victory. It's a sign of victory. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he granted him the son. Ya Zakaria, inna nubashiruka bi ghulam, ismuhu Yahya. And you know, the issue is here, like all this time, Zakaria alayhi salam is saying, oh Allah, I need you. I need help from you. I need your support. Give me this. And then Allah answers his dua. And he gives him the good news. Victory came. Do you know what he said? He was shocked. He was surprised. He's like, really? Yeah? Allah, I'm going to have a son, but I'm old. And my wife is old. How is that possible? And you know what? Allah said to him that, don't worry about it. It's from me. Yeah? وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْتُكَ مِنْ قَبْلُ وَلَمْ تَكُ شَيْئًا. هذا شيء سهل. It is easy. هينلي. Yeah? That it is easy for me. And I've created something from nothing. Before I've created things from nothing. And now it's even easier for me. I'm creating something from something, right? So Allah said, and you know where he goes? Even after that, when Allah said, look, easy for me, look, Zakaria, it's okay, you wanted this, I've given you this, it's alright, that's fine. Yeah? He was still not happy. Do you know what he was saying? He was saying, قَالَ رَبِّ اجْعَلْ لِي آيَةً. Like, give me signs, Allah. Like really, look man, like, you made dua, I've answered it. I've told you I'm going to answer it. I've given you good news. Then you're shocked. Like, really, how is that possible? Yeah, but in your dua, you said that. You know, in his dua, he was saying that I've become old and my wife is barren, but still give me a son. And I said, okay, that's fine. I'll give you a son. Then he shocked. But how can it be? أَنَّا يَكُونُ لِي غُلَامٍ وَقَدْ. Like, really, I'm going to have a son. It's like, all right, listen, it's easy for me. I'm giving you a very nice explanation as to why it's easy for me. I have created things before from nothing. So it's easy, don't worry about it, chill, like, it's okay. Then he's like, oh Allah, yeah, give me ayah. I mean, give me something, show me something. It's like, man, show me what? You're going to show me, look. Now literally, if your wife is expecting, wait for a few weeks, there is a sign. Wait for a few months, there is a sign. Yes? You know, wait for 9 months, there's definitely a sign. What more do you want? But he said, no, I want ayah. It's like, he wanted something, yeah? And Allah, you know what Allah gave him? Yeah? آيَتُكَ أَلَّا تُكَلِّمَ النَّاسَ ثَلَاثَ لَيَالٍ سَوِيًّا. Fast for 3 days. So fasting is do not speak. Basically at that time, don't speak to people, yeah? Illa bi ramza, like, except like ishara, like with the, but he wasn't allowed to speak to people, i.e. fast. The simple things. So fasting was a symbol of victory, good news, bushra. So for us, fasting isn't about hunger and thirst. We're experiencing that enough. Yeah, so for us, that's not a concern. For us, when Allah is giving us the month of Ramadan, we are seeing victory. We are seeing good news. We are seeing glad tidings. So this is very important for us to understand as an ummah, that fasting isn't about just hunger, isn't about thirst, but it's about great news. good news and victory. Then the word Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses that كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ. As it was written, i.e., as it was made first for those before you. Again, let's think about this. At a time when we feel isolated, we don't have anyone, by the way, isn't it? Come on, let's face it, we don't have anyone. We feel very isolated. Wall blocked up, there's wall going up here and there. Yeah, food is being thrown onto us, and we're being killed with the food. That humiliation. Can you imagine that, right? 10 people died from the food being dropped from aeroplane. We don't have anyone. This is the feeling that we have, right? It's agreed upon. We have no support. No one's there for us. We are very small number of people. But that's not true. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making a connection with us, with those people before us. He's saying, I've made this, I've written this for you, as I've written this for those before you. Meaning, oh people, you're not alone. You have a history. Yeah? You are among the greatest of people that have walked on this earth. We are from the most noble and greatest people that have walked on this earth. So don't ever feel that we are nothing. We are low. Yeah? We are not the people of humiliation. Allah has honored us. This is a great honor to this ummah. Right? That we are the people of Musa. We are people of Isa. We are people of Maryam who fasted. We are people of Ismail. We are the people of Ibrahim. We are the people of Idris. We are the people of Adam. Can you see? We are noble people. We are the greatest of nations. It's very important. So from this, don't just look at it as just some words. There is a greater meaning in that. That Allah is honoring us and making us feel that don't feel low. Okay? Don't think low of yourself. But you are from a great nation. You have great history. You have a very noble history. Yeah? And he's saying, look, this fasting has been prescribed to you, has been written to you, as it was written to those before you, i.e., everybody fasting. Meaning that all the religion, yeah, from the Ahlul Kitab, yeah, from the Jews and the Christians, we all fasting. It's a history. Even Hindus fast these days. So fasting has a long history. Right? So for us, is making that connection. That we are a very noble people. Then the verse goes on to لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. It's very important. Don't worry about food. Don't worry about hunger. Don't worry about thirst. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the greatest blessing by giving us the news of Siyam. First thing, isn't it? We know when we heard that fasting is coming, we are hearing of a great victory. Great news of fasting. And you know what the fasting is going to do? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Brothers, no doubt, humiliation is a word that we can use to describe ourselves. Yes? Everybody humiliates us. But Allah is changing the narrative. Allah is giving us a different narrative. Yeah? Allah is saying, look, you are honorable people, and I'm giving you this news. Fasting is coming. so that you will feel that I'm close to you. That's what fasting is about. So month of Ramadan is to bring us close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, these days, we said, we need Allah. Where is Allah? And Allah is now saying, look, I am here now. You're going to feel the closeness to me in this month of Ramadan. No doubt, in the month of Ramadan, we feel very close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Except the one who only fasts for hunger and thirst. All he's thinking about is food all day long. Right? No dhikr. Yeah? No salah. Yeah? Brother, I'm fasting. I can't pray now. No, oh my God. I'm too tired to pray. Why? I'm fasting. Yeah? No extra ibadah. Oh no, I can't read the Quran. I'm too tired, brother, because I'm fasting. If food and hunger is the key thing, then Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said in the hadith that if you are not abstaining from ill things, things that are wrongdoing, you will only gain hunger and thirst in the month of Ramadan. So in the month of Ramadan, our objective is to feel the closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's an amazing thing that in this month, in the next few days, Allah is bringing the opportunity to us. So we're not alone. So Allah is saying, look, you're not alone. You are honorable people. Alladhina amanu. Those who have believed. You are the people that are connected to a great history of great people. You are not low. You are not the humiliated people. And you know what? More importantly, I am with you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, I am with you. Why? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. It's very important that in this month, for the last few 150 days plus, what have we been saying? Oh Allah, where are you? Oh Allah, we need you. Oh Allah, mata nasrullah, where is the victory coming? Oh Allah, we need... And Allah is now saying, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. That I'm giving you month of Ramadan as-siyam as a hope, bushra, good news. And I'm going to be with you. So in this month of Ramadan is a time to be close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Umar ibn Khattab, radiallahu anhu, he was asked, describe at-taqwa. What is at-taqwa like? What is taqwa? He said, taqwa means that you are walking in a very muddy path with thorns, wearing a white thobe, and you're trying to protect the thobe. These days, where we live, things that we watch, things that we observe, people that say things about us, they make us feel. It's very important for us to understand and walk the path without, getting that mud on our thumb. Do you understand? They may label you, they may pressure you, they may say things to you. But Allah is saying something else. He has a different narrative. So this is taqwa. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to be with us. We're going to feel the closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we don't need anything else but Allah. Because victory comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember, the reason I'm talking about this, because that's how I feel. You may feel otherwise. But for me, I can't think of Ramadan as anything else. Right? I'm hopeless. And Allah is giving me hope. But by using these key words, amanu, using the word kutiba, using the word as-siyam. So for me, siyam means bushra, good news. Yeah? It's very important to understand. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. And you are close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we need that more than anything. So young boys, remember, don't just think about food. It's so important. Our people have been without food for many, many, many days. We don't care about food anymore. We don't care about thirst anymore. Right? We even died without oxygen. That's not an issue to us. So Ramadan is not about us. It's not about this thing. Ramadan is about being close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Allah will give us good news. The next verse. أياما معدودات. We have lugha here. Ayam, they say this is the Jamul Qillah, meaning Ayam is in the form of mansub, it's not marfu, meaning that it's connected to Siyam. Yeah, so Allah is saying that you will fast those days. Good news is that it's a very few days. You weren't expected to fast. Siyam was never for many days, like months. In the past, fasting was for 3 days, 2 days, yeah, whatever, yeah, that sort of fasting, yes? Fasting was never for months. So here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that, look, good news for you. In this short period of time, I will bring you the greatest of things. Ayyam ma'dudat. Very short period of time, you'll taste good news. You'll taste the things that you wanted. You will see the closeness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if we seek that in the month of Ramadan. Remember, we don't say, oh man, 1 month, like who thought that? Like there was this, at my workplace, this guy was asking me, so tell me, when do you start fasting, like, in the day? I said, well, early morning, before sunrise. He goes, oh. So this was like 2 summers ago, yeah? So it was like 9:30 iftar. And he goes, really? That's early, man. I said, yeah. He goes, so what time do you break fast? I said, about 9:30-ish. He goes, so in between that, do you have a drink? I said, no. He goes, do you like have a little snack? I said, no. He goes, who thought of that? Right? Who thought of this stuff? I said, look, yeah, this is from Allah. Yeah? Think about it. So some will say, oh man, long hours, 30 days. No, Allah is saying it's only for a short period of time. Yeah? Short period of time. And we've been through worse for 3 months. Yes? And Allah is giving us only a short period of time as a gift, the month of Ramadan. Ayyam ma'dudat. And then he's sort of talking about here, it's very important. Bit of, it's an obligation upon us to understand how to fast. Yes? How to start the fast. You don't, wake up and say, oh, there's a sunrise now, I can start fasting. My mom, when I was young, she used to tell me, before I go to school, I can start fasting. I was young then, but this is not true. There are rules of Ramadan, and it's an obligation on all of us to understand. Yeah, so if you are not well, man kana maridan wa ala safarin, and those who are on a journey, they can fast, or they can make up those fasts on another day. Yeah, that's why it's really saying. Again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that if you are not well, you don't have to fast. Yeah, if you're on a long journey, I don't mean, a lot of the East London brothers, you think E1 and E2 is probably a long journey, but it's not. Journey means you're literally out of city, like you're going to a different place, yeah? Yeah, because I know some people invite me, and when I hear E3, it's like, do I have to go? Yeah, but this is not the journey. Journey is like, it's hardship, yes? It's a pretty long distance, and there's ikhtilaf in that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again, He's showing His mercy, saying, if you're doing this, it's okay. And also, Allah is saying, الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةٌ طَعَامًا مِسْكِينٌ وَمَسَاكِينٌ. That, taqa, this verb, it comes from the verb taqa, energy, yes? So those who are unable to do things, like old age, some people, they're not on safar, nor are they ill. They just old. Yeah? Meaning there's things that some people are unable to do for whatever reason. They will have, again, a ransom, a fidya to pay. Yeah? And we have, and you should study those things. Al-kafara, al-fidya, yeah? Or al-qada. Yeah? These are important things for us to study. Now is the time to learn. We've still got a few days to know these things, yes? But do not break your fast because you've got a headache. Okay, don't break your fast because you're thirsty. Thirst is not an illness. Right? Feeling be dizzy, It's not illness. So you should really go and speak to someone, speak to your parents if you're young, speak to a doctor and get sort of an idea from him, yeah? But this is mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He's given us all of these things. And if you're able to fast, fast. It is good for you. If you don't want to fast and you want to make it up on another day, that's also good. Sometimes what people do, right? He's unwell. When I say people, bro, more close, my mom. Last year, she was in hospital because she wanted to fast. I said, Mom, you don't have to fast. Like, if you fast, you're going to end up in hospital. She's like, nah, but like, how can I do this, right? You know, her iman, her love. But if you're unwell and you have to break your fast, do it. It doesn't mean your iman is more stronger or something, yeah? Yeah, this is called, ruqsa, like, it's okay. Okay, don't put yourself in the hardship. So again, it's important to understand those things. So in this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about those things. So important for us to understand the fiqh of Ramadan. Yeah? You see, also guys, when we're having iftar, right? We don't have to eat like as if we haven't seen food for like months. It's only, you probably haven't eaten food for like 8 or 9 hours. But we don't have to eat food as we haven't seen food for many, many years. So again, learn how to break your fast. What dua to make before you break fast, yeah? Because remember, it's not about hunger. We should never give a sign that we are hungry and we are going to do things that show we are people. I was just thinking about hunger and thirst. No. And we should have learned that lesson from our people that are really facing hunger. Then the verse talks about, this is amazing. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. This is important. If we were feeling low, if we were feeling that we have no one, if we're feeling humiliated, yes, we are. We are being humiliated. Yeah? The people that are supposed to protect us are the worst of creation. So we are faced with worst of creation around us. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives us good news. He says, Shahru Ramadan. The month of Ramadan, do you know what this month is? Allah created everything, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created everything. But from everything that He's created, He created something that are to be the best in their jinns. For example, He created insan, people. But He created the anbiya, the best of mankind, right? So they're also human like us, right? But they're the best people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created angels. But there are some angels, Jibreel, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions, they're the more ashraf, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created waqt, like a different, time. Fajr is one of the best time. Iftar time is one of the best time, yes? He created months. And Shahru Ramadan is the best of months. So think about this. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he became prophet when? In the month of Ramadan. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the greatest news. The greatest gift to this humanity was Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If that wasn't enough, do you know what Allah gave? Al-Quran. Unzila fi al-Quran. You know the word unzila is very important to understand. It means the whole of the Quran was revealed in the month of Ramadan. If that wasn't enough, He gave us the best of night, Laylatul Qadr. Right? So He gave us the best of things in the month of Ramadan. He says, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. So again, this Quran that we have is very important for us to understand. A, for the younger brothers and for everyone. In the month of Ramadan, we must read the Quran. It is very important. If we do not know how to read the Quran, we must learn how to read the Quran. We must understand the Quran. Right? It's very important. Look, take 10-15 minutes a day, read the translation. But more than that, we have to understand this point. The Quran, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, yeah, Furqan, Bayyinatin, yeah, it's a Bayyinat, it's a clear, it gives us a clear sort of, you know, it makes al-farq, you know, Furqan, from the word farq. It distinguishes between right and wrong. If we are confused, if you do not know what to do, Quran came and made things for us clear. That should be clear. Halal is halal, haram is haram. So there is no excuse for us to say we don't know. Right? For it to be a Furqan, we have to live by the Quran. Does it make sense? A lot of people, the mistake that they make is that they stop after a while or after the first stage. Some people will read the Quran, that's it. So they've all the thing that they've ever done is read the Quran. Other people, they understand the Quran. MashaAllah, brothers, I'm doing tafsir, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm learning Lugha, I'm doing Arab, and they do all of these things. Fine, alhamdulillah. But is that enough? Allah is saying, no, it is not enough. For this ummah, the Quran has to play a crucial role. We have to live by the Quran. Every right and wrong that is mentioned in the Quran, we have to live by this. If we do not live by the Quran, if the Quran doesn't become implemented in our life, then do you know what we're going to face? We will face what we're facing today. What we are facing today is a result of us not living by the Quran. What we are facing today is a result of not implementing the Quran. It's the absence of Quran that has resulted in what we are facing today. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again, He's saying, look, I've given you the Quran. Understand it, implement it, live by it. The ahkam in the Quran, the right and the wrong, legal and the illegal, it's all there, but we have to work towards ensuring that the ummah as a whole, we are living according to the Quran. Okay, I've been told I've got a few minutes, but you know what? I haven't even, I've just been through two ayats, but there's more. But unfortunately, due to restriction of time, I can't continue. But, these are just key messages that I want you brothers to take away. Yes, we do live at a time, or we've experienced some of the horrendous stuff. For me, the worst thing is not hunger, it's the humiliation. For me, the important thing is the honor more than anything else. But we've faced everything. We are in a very desperate situation. And the month of Ramadan, a month of Siyam, is coming to us as a month of good news. Bushra. Remember that, yeah? It's not about hunger, thirst, food, drink. It's about good news. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is bringing good news. In this month is a chance for us to be close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the month where Allah is saying, look, I'm with you. And remember, Allah has addressed us as people of honor. We have our own identity. Remember this. First thing we talked about identity. We have our own identity, which Allah has mentioned. And we must stick to the identity. Right? And it is people that believed in Allah, believes in Islam, stick to Islam, will become victorious. And will be close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring the ummah the victory that it deserves. Make this ummah worthy of the victory. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the month of Ramadan, in which He made our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam prophet, and He revealed the Quran in the month to reveal the victory for this ummah. آخر دعوانا والحمد لله رب العالمين.